Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Eric, KJ4YZI. You're watching Ham Radio Concepts, and you heard it here first on YouTube. The very first video announcing, quick like, the new up-and-coming Yaesu FT5DR dual-band C4FM digital and analog 5-watt handheld. Yaesu's keeping it modern. Yaesu's adding another one to their lineup. And while we haven't even known this was coming out until you saw this video first, and more to follow from everybody else, let's see about the features on what it has and give you an idea of what you can expect and what my couple of opinions would be on what the FT5DR is going to offer us. Let's check it out. Okay, what we know about this FT5DR at the moment is it's still a dual band, 2 meter, 70 centimeter C4FM System Fusion digital and analog VHF and UHF ruggedized handheld with IPX7 water rating. It's got the rubberized outside case. It's made for the elements outside. It's got APRS built in and more. Let's look at this quick like in comparison to the catalog from the FT3D. Now, you'll notice it looks almost exactly like the FT3D. So let's look at the little screenshot I got here. And we'll look at the case here, 2.44 inch by 3.94 inch by 1.34 inch at 9.95 ounces. And if I look at the FT3D, it would be 2.44 by 3.94 by 1.28 inch. So 0.06 inches thicker, which is probably not measurable in your eye, at 9.95 ounces. So it's practically the same handheld that you're used to if you have a 3D, or if you haven't used a 3D yet. It's going to incorporate the look and feel of the 3D with a couple new features on the 5D. Now, what I like about Yaesu, thank you, is using the same battery, say the SBR14Li on the FT3D, and guess what? That's also with the FT5D. So you don't have to go out every time they come out with a new radio to add to their lineup and go buy all new batteries and chargers. That's what I like about what they're doing with these radios from Yaesu. So the 2D to 3D to 5D batteries are all interchangeable. Great stuff. So the chargers, maybe mostly accessories, antennas, speaker mics, camera mic, and more, okay? Now, the one thing, it does still have a color display, color display, touch screen. The one thing I'm most interested in is the handheld itself and the audio quality. I'll have to say the 2D and the 3D were not on my favorite list of audio output, and I'm not the only one that said that. Speakers sounded not loud enough and a little too tinny, okay? I like to have it out in the field. Yaesu gears this stuff here ruggedized as outdoor and, search and rescue. A lot of the elements at you. You would want something that's very loud, I would think. So 1 watt, that's 1,000 milliwatts now of loud audio power from this radio. And if I look at the FT3D, that was 700 milliwatts. So they've increased the speaker 300 milliwatts to give it a full 1 watt output on this radio, which is hopefully going to sound a lot louder when you're mobile. It's on the seat, you're at a Hamfest, it's on your belt clip, you're out in the field and it's raining or the wind's blowing in your ears. I hope it's going to be louder. That's, I think, what the biggest concern I would have that would make me get this is. That's why I didn't have an FT3D. I have an FT2DR, but I don't have an FT3DR. I might get an FT5. Now, another thing, here's a new thing here. So first of all, you can have dual standby, of course, C4FM on both VFO-A, VFO-B, simultaneous receive VHF, VHF, analog or digital, UHF, VHF, UHF, UHF, and whatever. So you're always going to have 2 frequencies here in 2 different modes or same modes that you're going to want at one time to monitor 2 channels, dual receiver. Now, one more thing here, what appears to be new is the touch and go operation with activity monitor. Now, the primary memory group activity monitor, basically this touch and go, will allow you, based on your most frequent communications on that radio, a touch and go 1 button push, you can go right there. So some people frequent more repeaters than others. Some people frequent 1 repeater all the time. Then you get lost in memories. Boom, 1 push, you're right back to where you want to be because you're there every day. Or you're there during a storm all the time. Or you're there on search and rescue, but you veered off somewhere on the frequencies listening to someone else and you want to get back to that search and rescue, frequency, or just to listen, or amateur. It's not always an emergency, guys. This is always fun too, but they give you a lot of options in this radio to keep it, if you needed it. Remember, when everything goes down, ham radio's there, right? So the touch and go operation is pretty cool. It still does have a, we're not going to talk about the memory auto grouping function, the mag function. I don't want to get too far into it. The high-speed band scope still exists on the 5DR that does into 3D, and it's up to 79 channels, centered on the current VFO frequency. So you get like a band scope that is, it's high speed, shows you what may be on other frequencies that you're not aware of when you're looking at the radio. Okay, believe it or not, a lot of people think that all you're ever going to hear is what's on memories, but I've learned that I've found a lot of people and a lot of frequencies that I didn't know existed by looking at a band scope on several radios that I've had and say, wow, and they're like, yeah, we meet on here every night, 146.520 is simplex, but guess what? These guys meet on 146.495 every night, and whether they can be there or not on that frequency, they're there every night. So you find stuff with a band scope on a handheld. It's not just for HF, okay? Still have Wires X. It still has the built-in Bluetooth unit. And so you can do Vox or have a PTT headset for hands-free operation. Wires X to get into System Fusion. APRS, I love how they put APRS into this radio. Still to this day, 1200, 9600 baud. APRS is still a very viable mode of communication. It was never designed to be watching someone on a map. It's a tactical exchange of information. And I do have videos on APRS on my channel that will show you how to send text messages from the front of a radio like this using APRS to somebody's phone or emails. Okay, so there's a lot more on APRS than watching someone drive to the store. Okay, and if you're interested in that, look in the description. I'll put those videos about APRS and why I'm happy that Yaesu still puts APRS in all their radios like this. Okay, it comes with the accessories you would expect. You can still use a micro SD card up to 32 gigs with recording function on both bands, VFOA, VFOB, and all the frequencies that you'd expect, up to 999 megahertz on VFOA, with all the different modes or bands here, AM broadcast, shortwave, FM broadcast, airband, marine, 222, GMRS, UHF ham, 800 business band, 900 business band, and the same thing, like I said, on here, has all those frequencies here from the FT3D. So didn't seem like they took anything out. They just added stuff. Okay, so another great addition to their lineup here from Yaesu that you would expect for a good radio like this. And I can't wait to play with one because that may, depending on the speaker and the audio output and what it sounds like, may be what makes me sell my FT2D that's sitting on a desk right here next to me and move up with this. Because everybody says, man, the 3D's out. Why wouldn't you get the 2? Why do you still have a 2D? My biggest concern is that audio, and we're going to wait to find out what happens and how that sounds. And I'll give you an honest report when I hear one in my hand. 7-3 everyone, you saw it here first. More videos on the way. This is KJ4YZI.